Alright, Mr. Rickle, nice to meet you. My name is Stepan Gunnin, and today I'll be interviewing this fellow martial artist. Please state your degree in martial arts.
I train in a rather obscure art called Wing Chun. It's a Chinese art of Chinese Kung Fu. I am a level 4 provisional master as of right now. This week probably that'll change to a full master. I'm leveling up for my full master grading this week. For right now I'm a level 4 provisional master.
Alright, so let's start with the questions. The first one, how are you influenced by martial arts?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
From Fort Greene Projects, more specifically. And I grew up in the 70s. It was a really rough neighborhood. People were getting jumped in my neighborhood. I've gotten jumped. By the time I was 10 years old, I'd probably gotten jumped like a half a dozen times. So I knew what it was like to be looking at the bottom of a bunch of Timberland boots stomping you out. And this is all before I was 10 years old. So I was definitely looking for something that would kind of change the odds a bit. I didn't have big brothers. If you had a big family in my neighborhood, it kind of worked for you, and I didn't. So my uncle, when I was a kid, took me to some Shaw Brothers movies and Bruce Lee movies when I was a kid on 42nd Street in Manhattan when it was called The Deuce. It was like a lane of movie theaters, all kung fu movies being played in these movie theaters, like 20 movie theaters on this long block. And I saw the kung fu and I was just amazed, and these guys were fighting multiple attackers and weapons and all this kind of stuff. So I was enamored by it. So as a kid, I kind of sought out anything that even remotely looked like martial arts.
Alright, second question. Why did you become a teacher yourself in the martial arts?
For years, I was a gray sash, which is just under gold sash. Before I was officially a Sifu, he would introduce me. This is my grand student, Master Sifu Rasun. He is a Sifu. He's my bodyguard. He is, and I'm like, well, Grandmaster's saying I'm a Sifu, but I'm not really, technically a Sifu. So when I get back to New York, my Sifu, Master Redmond, and Master Keith Maza, who actually are two of Grandmaster Chun's closed door students, and they are the top masters in the country. They were like, oh, Sifu Rasun, oh, why don't you show them your forms? And I did my forms. Oh, why don't you do some Chisa? Oh, why don't you guys do some sparring? Oh, why don't you do this? And at the end of all of that, they said, Sifu Rasun, as they said, Rasun, you know what you just did? And I said, what? They said, you just passed your Sifu's test. Now here's your here's your certificate and your sash. So they kind of tricked me into becoming a Sifu. Once I became a Sifu, technically became a Sifu. But then after that,
It changed.
Yeah, it changed. Now I'm like, oh, I want to progress more. So then I took my level 2 provisional master test, and then I said I wanted to progress more. So then I took my level 4 provisional master test. And now in order to become a full master, I have to take this new test. But I have other Kung Fu brothers who won't take their master's test until I do, out of respect and courtesy, because I'm their senior. So I'm kind of holding up the line if I don't take mine soon enough. So I'm gonna take my full master's so my brothers can take theirs too, and we can all be a crew of masters in this art.
Alright, next question. What is your opinion of Wing Chun as a martial art?
Oh, my opinion of it, I've been practicing it
And why?
Well, I've been practicing for over 40 years. My opinion of it is that it's an amazing art. It's a thinking man's art. It's not it wasn't designed to be that one punch and ended, style, but I think it's very creative. It gives you good balance, good coordination, good timing. People think that we're really, really fast. We could be, but I think it's more that we're taking a shorter route than most other people are. My opinion on the art is very effective. It's forever growing, because one of the prerequisites for becoming a master is you have to contribute something to the art for the future generations. For me, I contributed a few different programs to the art that I developed myself. I brought them over to Grandmaster Chun for his approval. He not only approved them, but now he's made them part of our curriculum throughout the world. So So yeah, I've kind of done that part, and I've created a few different programs. But I think it's a thinking man's art is forever growing. It's always getting more refined and more effective and efficient. And yeah, I really probably can't say enough about it, so I don't think I'll stop it right there.
All right. Next question. What do you think about the film Ip Man and its influence on people and how they see it?
Well, then you see Ip Man movie, you're like, wow, they did a great job with this. They were like, you know, cinematically it was amazing. The choreography was insane. You can see what's going on. It was beyond my scope of thinking when I was a kid, you know, of how great this could look on camera. But now, in hindsight, yeah, it looks amazing. They did a great job with all of the Ip Man movies. Donnie Yen is by far one of my favorite action stars anyway. I think the stories were great. They may not have been, they may have taken some artistic license, you know,
Yeah.
with the story, but still really good. Choreography was good, well shot, well made. Yeah, I couldn't say enough good things about the Ip Man franchise. It's really good.
What do you think about Bruce Lee and his altered version of Wing Chun?
The gist of it is, Bruce Lee needed to become a Sifu so he can teach.
Yeah.
And in order to become a Sifu, he had to go through Ip Man. And now he's aware that he can't go through Ip Man to become a Sifu. So what do? I can't become a Sifu. He's won't let me. Well, what do? Well, I won't become a Sifu then. I'll become a Grand Master. I'll be a Grand Master of my own style that I developed. And then, to keep it safe, I'll tell everybody it's not a style. It's just my thoughts on how fighting is. So no one can really criticize it, you know.
Can you tell me a little bit about Jeet Kune Do? What is that mixture of? Because he was probably influenced by other fighting styles in LA, right?
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, he was here. I'm sure he was influenced by boxing and by jiu-jitsu and you know, some of the northern systems that he did, because he was doing film, so he needed to do some northern stuff to make it look really good as well. So you had to have a lot of, you had to be able to kind of maneuver in different spaces. So yeah, I'm sure he took on some of the boxing, some of the footwork, some of the fluidity, took away the rigidity of the old classical styles and made it a little bit more fluid, like traditional Wing Chun kind of made sense in the first place. The system is way of the intercepting fist, Jeet Kune Do, that's what it means. And that's one of the prerequisites for Wing Chun, is we intercept fists coming upon. So it's very similar to what we do, but no disrespect, but maybe not as sophisticated, right? Because Wing Chun is this complete system, and Jeet Kune Do is a system developed by this guy who died when he was 33. And if we would have gotten him to live a little bit longer, we might have gotten, you know, a more seasoned version of Bruce Lee. What we really got is like the tiger going into the dragon stage. You know, he's a great fighter, great philosophy, really great mind to put things together. But I think we really missed out on getting to see a 50 or 60 or 70-year-old Bruce Lee.
So next question. How has LA culture, in your opinion, affected your perception of martial arts while you're around?
Here you get to kind of relax a little bit more. You're not really worried as much about, you know, things happening to you as much as you are on the East Coast.
So you'd say it's the environment of the LA
that makes it a little bit easier, you know. Plus, it's a beautiful place to train. You know, you've got this great weather, these, you know, greenery everywhere. You know, you can always have a, you know, great place to train. It's a comfortable place to train.
What does Wing Chun mean to you?
Contact reflexes, your eye, your reflexes, your balance, your timing, your coordination. You know, being able to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time while you're jumping on one leg and chewing gum. You know, so coordination, balance, all these things come to mind when I think about Wing Chun.
If not for Wing Chun, what would you have done with your life?
Probably still doing music. I may be doing music probably in the 80s and 90s, and I did music as a career for like 10 years. I was an artist, songwriter, producer, kind of, or co-producer, keyboard player. I was a singer. I did all this for like 10 years.
What is the history of like your dojo?
I think I came here to train some students, and it snowballed into me opening a school.
So, were there any like celebrities or like people who were influenced or like helped from Wing Chun or just the martial arts in general?
Mike Tyson, you know, with Stevie Wonder, with Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. actually trained under Eric Orem, Sifu Eric Orem, Grandmaster student. Sifu Eric Orem has been training Robert probably more than 15 years, you know. No, about 15 years, I think. Definitely over a decade, you know. Robert attributes Wing Chun to saving his life.
What do you think sets martial arts apart from other physical activities?
Discipline, the conditioning, the training. It's something you really can't get anywhere else. So,
have you ever used martial arts skills in real life?
Yes.
In any situation, and give us like a couple, like 2 examples.
I tell my friends we're going to get a pizza shop. I go to the pizza shop. I stand on line, waiting to order a cheeseburger, and someone grabs my shirt and pulls me and says, "Yo, yo!" And I look, and it's one of the guys I'm with, and his face is all bleeding. And I'm just like, I just left this guy like 5 seconds ago. How did this happen? So he pulls me outside. And he's like, "Yeah, they're jumping our friend." And I'm like, "What?" So I come outside. There's a mob of people, and I see one of the guys I'm with getting beat up, and he's trying to fight this guy's back, and he's drunk, and his balance is crap, and every time he throws a punch, he falls on the floor, and one guy tries to kick him in the face, so I run in, I stop his kick. Another guy tries to punch him, I block the punch. I say, "Hey guys, let's calm down. I wanted to assess and see who the bad guys were." The guy came back with a gun, and he passed it to his friend, and when his friend grabbed the gun, I darted over to him, and I jammed I pushed his wrist into his stomach and jammed it in. And then when he fought me back, I just wrenched his arm open, and then I put him in a wrist lock and elbowed him in the face because I wanted to disarm the gun.
Yeah.
But it already flew out of his hand when I wrenched his arm open, so I didn't know that. So I hit him in the face, and he dropped. And then I grabbed my friends, and he picked his friend up, and he ran off, and I grabbed my friends, and we left. And I didn't, you know, I didn't want to stick around for anything. You know, just let's get out of here. Another good one.
Say one for LA.
So basically, a former student of mine came along with this guy who I found out in the first few minutes that maybe he wasn't really here to learn. In the middle of my class says, "Oh, you know, by the way, you're doing it wrong, and you're doing this wrong, and I'm just like, "Oh, well, why don't you show me what you're talking about?" So he got up and challenged me to a fight. So when we get up, and he kind of changes his tune, and he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I do Jeet Kune Do, and I kick like this, and we punch like this, and if you do this, I'll do that." And I'm like, "Well, that's great, right? But since we're up here, why don't we just do what we said we were going to do, right? And I'll go easy on you, right? I'll go nice and easy so you can see what's coming." And then he gets in my face, and he headbutts me. Grabbed the side of his face and punched him in the face. I did a quick takedown. I hit him a few times, and I decided, let me let this guy go. He's not really a good, you know, he's not coming back with me with anything. Yeah, he tried to do a roundhouse kick, but he telegraphed the kick. He like swung his arm before the kick came, so I knew the kick was coming. So I ducked the kick like this guy, and I lifted my arm to unbalance him, so he fell on the floor. And then I was gonna kick him, but I said no, that's gonna be too much. So I just stopped and just gave him another punch, you know, and then kicked him out. But yeah, the video went kind of viral, and they're calling him Waldo because he got a red and white striped shirt on, like where's Waldo? I have a lot of faith in the art and the conditioning and training that we get from it.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's it.
No.
All right, we got it done.